Let's say that we have an acid and we don't know what the concentration is. We want to figure out the concentration of that acid. How you could do that is if we have a base with a known concentration, maybe something like 2.4 moles per liter. How we're going to figure it out is if we take that base and we transfer it into that acid in slow amounts, we can actually figure out what the concentration of that is based off indicators. This process is called titrations, and in this video we're going to take a look at calculations and the process of titrations. So let's get into that right now. Okay, first let's go over what an acid and a base is. An acid is something that when in solution increases the amount of hydronium ions, H3O+. And a base is something that reduces hydronium or increases hydroxide, OH-. So we have H3O+ and OH-. The thing that we're going to take advantage of is when I mix these acids and bases together, they're going to mix and create water. This is acid-base neutralization. So if I began with a pH of something low, like 4, that would be an acid, and a base of something large, like 10, that would be a base, and I mix equal amounts of H3O and OH-, I should get a pH of 7, which is indicating neutral in acid-base neutralization. And so the key here is that every one hydroxide, that's the OH-, will neutralize one hydronium, that's the H3O+. So if I could very carefully pull over one OH-, it would turn that into two waters. It's still acidic over here, so let's pull one more over, turn those into waters, and at this point, I would have a neutral solution. And I drew it as kind of going clear here, but your indicator might not indicate that it is completely clear. Indicator is going to change colors on a certain range of pH, and it might have to become a little bit basic. So if it didn't change color right here, we might have to add one more hydroxide, and then it turns the color to showing that it's a base. That shows that we just were equal before that moment. So this is kind of what it would look like in an actual titration example. We'd have our beaker full of our acid there at the bottom, and then I've got the base in what's called a burette. And a burette's going to allow me to really slowly add that amount of base into the acid. So let's take a look at how it works. We're going to drop the base. Chemistry teachers love making that joke about titrations. We're going to drop the base into the acid, and then at a certain point, it's going to change color because the acid solution has now become basic. And so right at that tipping point, right when it went from being acidic to basic, they were balanced for just a minute. And that's important because that meant that the OHs was equal to the amount of H3Os that was in the solution. If I dropped 12, there was 12 in here to react. So now if I can figure out how much I dropped into the solution, that should tell me the same amount that was in the beaker, and I can calculate the concentration of the acid. So let's take a look at a more real example here. We have our burette, and then we have our acid in the beaker below. What I'm going to have in the burette is the base. It's going to be sodium hydroxide, 0.85 molar or 0.85 moles per liter. I'm going to drop that into, I don't know the concentration of this acid, but I know there's 150 milliliters of hydrochloric acid. Okay, let's focus in here on the titration. So I'm going to start dropping the base in, and then at some point it changes, and then we turn it off. We're not going to be putting any more base in. So hopefully right as it changed color there, we went from being acidic in the bottom, flipped to equal, and just tiny bit of basic. So we can say they were basically the same just before the color turned. And now we got to do a little bit of math. So let's say that how much I dropped in was 17 milliliters of my sodium hydroxide, or of my base. So all I got to do now is I got to figure out, well, how many hydroxides then did I drop in? Because that should be the same amount of the hydroniums. Fortunately, because both of these are strong, we have a strong base and a strong acid, they dissociate entirely. Meaning if I had 0.85 moles per liter of NaOH, it completely dissociated into Na plus and OH minus. So my concentration of OH minus was 0.85 moles per liter. So I can use that to figure out how many OHs dropped in. So I'm going to begin with, I had 0.85 moles per liter of OH minus. Times by, I dropped 17 milliliters out of the burette. So how many OH minuses did I drop? I dropped 0.01445 moles. I know that sounds like a complicated number, but it's too tough to deal with actual atoms of OH. The number's just crazy big. So we're dealing with moles. 0.01445 moles dropped in. So it must have reacted with 0.1445 moles of H3O plus, and that's what was in the acid. So perfect. Now that I have that number, I'll just divide by how many liters I have in the beaker. That's 0.15 liters, and I get my answer of 0.0963 moles per liter was the concentration of my acid. Again, this is only an example for strong bases and strong acids. It does get more complicated with weak ones as they have partial dissociation. Next, I'm just going to take a look at the graph. The graph looks kind of weird, and that's because pH is based off a logarithmic scale. It means every time you change the pH by 1, you change the hydronium or the H3O by a factor of 10. So here we have 5 is a hydronium times 10 to the negative 5, so 0.0001, and changing it to 6, that changes it by a factor of 10. And to 7, from 5, that's a factor of 100, and now it's of 1,000, and it keeps going up and up. So we won't really get into the math of necessarily how this works and the back and forth with the OHs and H3Os, but it makes a graph that kind of looks curved. So the first section, we're adding our base, but the pH isn't changing very much. But then all of a sudden it quickly changes. It shoots up past that neutral point as we went from acidic, added a couple, and it flipped over to becoming basic. Now that it's basic, when we add more, it becomes relatively flat again. We can see that this is useful for titrations because at the volume added to turn it to neutral is when we have that change in pH. So we're going to look for an indicator that is going to change colors in that range, and it doesn't have a very far change in volume added at the bottom of the graph. So hopefully when it changes colors, we're really close to that equilibrium point. So an example of an indicator on your chart would be bromothymol blue. So that says it goes from yellow to blue, which I tried to show in the animation when we have that change in pH. And this goes from going from 6, which is a little bit acidic, to 7.6, a little bit basic. That's when the color change would occur. That would be a good indicator for passing through 7 or passing through neutral. Okay, let's conclude with one more example that could be a little bit tricky because it asks you to recall things like grams per mole and moles per liter. Because the question says we have lithium hydroxide and we make the solution by dissolving 15 grams in 800 milliliters of water. So a little bit different than the last one. And then now the rest is kind of similar. We drop into nitric acid, HNO3, and there's 85 milliliters of that. We zoom in on the titration, we're dropping, and then it changes at that point. How much it took? In this case, it took 12 milliliters of the base to change color. So I want to figure out how many moles of OH got dropped in, but I got to do a couple steps first. The first part is, well, how many moles is 15 grams? What did we start with when we made this solution? To do that, we have to figure out the molar mass of lithium hydroxide. So we're going to take lithium's mass plus oxygen's mass plus hydrogen's mass, and it's 23.95 grams per mole. So when we have 15 grams, we don't have a full mole. We only have part of a mole. So let's divide that, figure out how much of a mole we have. It's over there on the screen, 0.6263 moles. Okay, that's a good start. There was that many moles when we made the solution, but we didn't drop the full 800 milliliters in. I only dropped part of it. So I want to figure out the moles per liter, and then I can times that by how many liters I put in. Another step I'm just realizing you could do here is you could do a 12th out of 800, and that would also figure it out. Yep, that method actually works pretty well. So here's the work showing you could use 12 out of 800 to also get the number of moles. But to make it look more like the last question, let's take our amount of moles that we had in the 800 milliliters to figure out that we had 0.78288 moles per liter. And again, why that's going to look like the last question is that's what we knew about the initial base. So now we're kind of caught up to where we were before. Now I know the moles per liter. I'll times by my amount of liters, 0.012, and I get 0.00939 moles. And now the rest is the exact same as the previous question. We'll take that number of moles. That's how many we dropped in. That should be equal to the amount of moles that is now in, or that was in the acid. So those were equal. That's why they neutralized out. Divide that by the liters of the acid, and we're going to get 0.11 mole per liter solution of the acid. So pretty similar, except lots of math to start with so that we could get to that same spot as the last question. Okay, so that's all we got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that helped you to understand what titrations are and also how to calculate them. If you're looking for more help with high school science, I have entire course playlists over here at the channel, and I just have the most recent video up here. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.